Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do my top foundation primers for oily to combination skin. For the most part, I have very oily skin, but I do use a lot of acne medication, so that tends to dry me out in some areas, so I can have dry patches at times. I also have acne prone skin and large pores, so this is going to be geared toward that type of skin, as this is the type of skin that I have. So the first primer that I wanted to talk about is actually my latest purchase, and I have been absolutely loving this primer. I almost want to say that it's my all-time favorite, but I haven't been using it for long enough, so I don't want to quite say that just yet, but I have absolutely been loving it. It's the Dr. Brandt Pores No More primer, and this is what it looks like, and I just purchased the smaller size. I believe this one is how many ounces? 0.5 fluid ounces, and I think it was like 15 bucks. And actually it's, I think, a better deal than buying the full-size one, because the full-size one, I want to say you get like one fluid ounce, and it's like more than double the cost, which I thought was kind of odd. So make sure and look at that before you purchase one if you do decide to purchase it. So what this primer claims to do is minimize pores, absorb your oils, and mattify the skin, and I think all of those claims are completely dead on. It does exactly what it says. I have a lot of large pores in my T-zone area. It totally minimizes those pores, and it's keeping me very matte throughout the day, which I have a hard time doing even with any mattifying primer. This one seems to be working the best for me lately, so I have been really enjoying this primer. I don't think it clings to any of my dry patches, which is a big plus, because some mattifying primers can really enhance those dry patches, and I don't notice this one doing it at all. So this is probably my absolute favorite at the moment. This primer I have been using for a very long time, and I always seem to go back to it. It's the Tarte Clean Slate Poreless Primer, and I have had this for the longest time. I think this tube runs about 30 bucks. I don't remember exactly, but it's the 1 fluid ounce size, and I have seriously had it for probably years, and I use it very frequently. You need a very small amount, but basically what this claims to do is it's a pore refining foundation primer. It's waterproof and line filling, and I think all of that is very true. This one doesn't keep me as matte as like a mattifying primer, but it doesn't make me oily, and it doesn't make my makeup slide around either. This does feel like a lot of those silicone primers that blur the pores, but this one does not make my makeup slip around. Like, I know a lot of people really like the Benefit Professional, and this feels similar to that one, but that one makes my makeup slide all around my face, and it causes a big mess. I hate that primer. So this is one of my all-time favorites. I think it's a very universal primer, because I think people, you know, even if you have drier skin, you can probably use this primer as well. So this is one of my all-time favorites, and I always tend to find myself going back to it. Another primer that I have used for a very long time, and you can tell by the bottle, is the Becca Ever Matte Poreless Perfecting Primer, and this is what it looks like here. And this is 1.35 fluid ounces, and I believe this one is a little on the pricey side. I want to say maybe 30-35 bucks. I don't remember exactly, but I'll list it down below in the description bar. And same thing, I've had this primer forever, for years, and I use it pretty frequently, but you need a very small amount, so it lasts such a long time. This primer definitely helps with oil control. And what does it claim to do? It says oil control primer that perfects for an all-day matte, smooth complexion while minimizing pores. And I totally agree with that. I think it totally minimizes the pores. It definitely keeps me matte in my T-zone. But one thing about this primer is it's a little tricky to work with. It's very thick in consistency, and sometimes if you don't like smear it across your face evenly, when you put your foundation on, you can kind of get like some patchy areas. So that's the only thing with this primer, is I feel like it's a little bit difficult to work with, but if you warm it up between your fingers and then put it on your face, usually it works pretty good. But I am a little cautious with this one if I have any dry patches, because it definitely clings to them. But it's very good at keeping you matte if that's what you're going for. Another primer that's really popular that I enjoy is the Makeup Forever Step 1 Mattifying Primer. And I have the smaller size of this one. It does come in a bigger size as well. This is the 0.5 fluid ounces, and I believe these are like 16 bucks, I want to say. So this primer is very good at keeping you matte, but I don't feel like it minimizes your pores. So if you don't have that problem, you just, have oily skin, this would be a nice primer for you. I don't know, I still have kind of mixed emotions about this primer. I don't gravitate towards it like some of my other primers, because I think that it's very mattifying, but it makes my face look kind of like dry and like maybe cakey at times with my foundation, so I have to be very cautious when I'm using this one. But if I want like very long wearing makeup, like throughout the day, this one will definitely keep you super matte. So I feel like it has its pros and cons. The next primer that I use is the Murad Oil Control Mattifier, and this is what it looks like here. And to be honest, I'm not quite sure if this is a moisturizer because it says hydrate, or if it's a foundation primer. I've seen a lot of people using it as foundation primers, and that's why I purchased it. So I really like this on days that I'm feeling a little more dry than usual. Like if I used, a lot, like if I've used my acne medication and I'm starting to dry up and kind of get really sensitive, I really like this one because I do feel like it hydrates my skin because it goes on and it feels like a moisturizer, but at the same time it helps to mattify any areas, especially like my T-zone. So I'll use this on days where I'm feeling dry and sensitive but yet still oily, and I really like this. I really like to pair this with the Makeup Forever Step 1 Equalizer in the Smoothing Primer. And this is the small bottle as well, because the smoothing primer really helps to kind of blur out my pores, and then this just kind of helps to mattify me, but not so flat matte. It still looks very natural, so I really like to pair these two together. And the next primer that I absolutely love is the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer, and this is the smaller version as well. This is, let me see how many fluid ounces you get in here. 0.3 fluid ounces, and I think this is $19. This is a very expensive primer and it goes very fast. Like I've already used half of the bottle and I haven't used it that often. So I feel like this one does not go a very long way, and the full size is very expensive. I want to say like pushing 50 bucks or more. This gives you like the smoothest canvas. I swear, I feel like it just blurs all of my imperfections, blurs my pores, and yet keeps me matte, but not like that dry, flat matte. I absolutely love this primer, but I am just hesitant to use it all the time because it's so expensive. I have heard people say that the NYX Angel Veil Primer is a great dupe for this. So that's one primer that I am curious to try out and see if that's true, because it's a lot more affordable. I think the full-size Angel Veil Primer is like 15, 16 bucks, something like that. So I am curious, and if I do try that out, I will do a comparison video for you guys. But I think this primer is so beautiful. It's just very expensive, unfortunately. Hey guys, so I filmed this video like 4 months ago and completely forgot about it, but since then I have tried the NYX Angel Veil primer and I absolutely love it. I think it's a great drugstore primer. It's a great Hourglass dupe, especially because it's, a fraction of the cost. I think it does a great job at kind of blurring out all of your imperfections and pores and giving you a nice smooth canvas, and also works really well with my oily skin. I feel like it doesn't make my makeup slide. It doesn't give me a matte finish, it gives me more of like a natural finish, maybe like a natural to satin, but I absolutely love it. So thank you guys for watching as always. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you have any suggestions or highly recommended primers for oily to combination skin, I'd love to know. As you can tell, I love to try out new primers. I'm always looking for that perfect one. But I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!